This is a ToneRite. What it does is it will artificially produce the effects of playing a guitar for probably several years. So you place it on the strings down in the bridge here, and it will vibrate the instrument, which mimics the effect of playing it and the strings vibrating the instrument naturally over a period of time, and this accelerates the process rather dramatically. It's got a potentiometer on it here where you can adjust the intensity of the vibration, and they say to put it on for a minimum of 72 hours. They recommend 144. It also states that if you put on the intensity all the way up, it will increase the voice of the instrument, the projection of it. If you turn it down about halfway or somewhere in the middle, it will increase the sweetness of the instrument, the musical qualities of it. So so far I've done it on this old classical, and I've done it on my Gibson, and the Gibson, where I play it fairly regularly, it made a difference, but it wasn't quite as dramatic a difference as it was on the old classical here, because that one's been sitting in the case for quite some time. So I put it on each of them for 72 hours on the intensity setting to initially just to see if this thing actually worked, and I was really pleased with the results. So subsequently wanted to do a review on it. Get these things for about $150. Eventually I'm going to go through all of my instruments, including my electrics, well, initially on an electric, to see if it makes a difference. So that's going to be an interesting experiment. But in order to do a review properly, you're going to need a before and after, and I can't really use these ones here because I've already started the process on it. So what I done is I dug out this old acoustic that's been I bought several years ago for $125. It was a kit guitar, apparently, from Marlboro. You send in empty cigarette packs, and they send you this thing to put together. Whoever put it together didn't do a very good job of it, and anyway, it subsequently cracked down here. The whole face of it broke open, but anyway, for $125. So what I'm going to do is just give you an example of what this sounds like before the ToneRite goes onto it, and after a week or so I'll come back and we'll have another comparison of the sound, and we'll see if it's actually worth the money. What I found with the sound of this one here is that it's very dull and it's very relentless. The strings on this are fairly fresh. I pulled it out about a month ago, and I changed all the strings and set everything up and played it for a couple of hours and really wasn't happy with it, so I put it back in the case again. But the strings or the guitar itself is very lifeless. The notes are more like a thud that vibrates at a certain frequency and produces a sound, rather than anything that's musical and produces anything that's pleasing to your ear. So that's how it sounds. Now, of course, by itself, you would say, well, that sounds all right. But what I'll do now is I'll compare it to these other two here, just to give you like an idea of how badly it sounds compared to some other instruments. So you can hear from this one here that there's a nice bottom end and there's a nice top to it, and there's a lot of space in between those notes. It sings very nicely. It has very nice sustain. Very nice sustain to it. It rings for you know, a nice period of time. Very nice sounding instrument. This one here was the one that I was most impressed with. It really took this instrument, which was asleep, and brought it back to life. So now it has a nice volume to it. It projects the sound very well. The vibration of it when it's played, you can feel the vibration all the way up through the neck. You couldn't really hear that before. It sounded kind of like that one there with just thud. There was really no sweetness to it. So. So what I'll do is I'll go back to this one here just briefly. Now that you've heard this one before, you've heard the other ones, and we'll go back to here again. So now you should be able to hear that the sound is very thin. You know, there's a little bit of bottom end, there's a little bit of high end, but there's not a whole lot of space in between. So I'll put the ToneRite on this, and I'll leave it on there for the 144 hours. Maybe initially at like 72 at the intense setting, and then I'll maybe back it off to the medium setting so that it gets the whole treatment, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at it again, and we'll see if it's actually worth the money and if it actually works.